Well, the COVID-19 restrictions have definitely placed some problematic challenges for real estate, and no area of real estate has seen more challenges than vacation rentals. We've got an expert on vacation rentals here with us today, Shelby Spinneweber from REMAX Leading Edge. Shelby, welcome to the program.
It's great to be here, Wally.
Yeah, happy to have you. So as Floridians, what impact have we seen? What restrictions are we playing under at the moment for vacation rentals?
Well, for quite a while, we had the shelter-in-place order for over 30 days. You couldn't rent your short-term rentals or vacation rentals, and really that's impacted most of the United States. I own and manage 9 vacation rentals in 5 different states, and each state had its own set of restrictions, but pretty much all of them restricted travel for non-residents where you couldn't rent a vacation rental.
What are you seeing? What special challenges has that brought for those landlords? Are any of them been typically eligible for some relief from either a state or federal government, or has it just been they got to tough it out?
Well, it created a lot of challenges. Myself would be a great example. Owning 9 vacation rentals, I literally have 9 mortgages. So all of a sudden we saw a huge loss in income in just a week or two's time, months worth of work just completely unraveling in front of us and having to process all kinds of refunds. A lot of folks just had all of their rental accounts completely wiped out, and yet they were still stuck with a mortgage payment, an auto payment, maybe credit cards. But I really want to talk about that there is help out there for people, because I've just went through this process and have been pretty successful in finding a lot of options for relief that's kept me afloat during these times. And thankfully, the real estate's been going well as far as sales. But as far as rentals goes, the first thing I recommend doing if you're in a position where you're not able to make your mortgage payment is call your lender. It's as simple as waiting online for a period of time to reach that person, whether it's a Bank of America, Wells Fargo, United Community Bank. Once you get off being on hold and actually get to talk to a live person, within 5 minutes, they can typically verbally take your application and sometimes approve you on the phone for either a deferment or an abatement. So that right now you won't owe those mortgage payments while you're trying to get through this process.
So you mentioned deferment or abatement. How does that relate to a forbearance, which many people are familiar with?
So a forbearance is the same thing as an abatement, in which they basically will put your payments on pause. So let's just say you called in April. Maybe you won't owe that April and May payment. When June rolls around, that amount is going to be due. So you have to be really careful if you do accept some relief like this. What will typically happen in June when that time rolls around, if you're not able to catch up those 2 payments and now all of a sudden you owe a June payment, they will oftentimes let you spread out those past payments over a period of time, whether it's 6 months. So you'd have basically 1.5 times your payment for 6 months. Or at that time, if you're not able to even do that, you can potentially qualify for a loan modification where they would change the terms of your mortgage so that you can afford to keep your home. The best option is really the deferment. Bank of America was really great at offering that option. And that's where they simply take that mortgage payment that you can't make and putting it on the back end of the loan. So essentially, the very next month when your mortgage payment is due, those other payments that were back payments are no longer due immediately. They're on the back end of the loan. So essentially, you can just start right from where you left off on once things do improve.
Shelby, how is the lender coordinating with any credit agencies? So if you're an investor and you've got 6 or 10 or 20 mortgages, you participate in one of the programs, the abatement as an example, where it goes to the end. Does that have an adverse impact on the ability to borrow money moving forward?
Well, while you're in these programs, you can't typically get a mortgage. And it does show up on your credit, and it shows like disaster relief or natural disaster. So it shows that you did make some form of an agreement with your lender, which is a good thing. It shows that you've made every effort to stay in touch with your lender and do what you could. But I have been told that once you're off these programs, as long as your credit score is still good and your income qualifies, that you can get right back to business and getting a mortgage.
That's good news. Shelby, there's a big difference between short-term vacation rental and longer-term vacation rental. How have you seen the term of that lease or rental impact the ability to put people in place?
Well, so that's very true. Short-term rentals, oftentimes less than 30 days, very typical 2 or 3 nights, maybe a week. Where long-term rentals, anywhere from 6 months to a year. So you could still, even when things were going on, if you had a long-term tenant, you could still rent, which was helpful. So some short-term rental managers converted their properties into longer-term rentals. Maybe they took in someone for 30 days or for several months to kind of weather the storm. The long-term renters weren't impacted the same way that the short-term folks were. I did want to say, while we're talking about relief programs, the other two programs that I should point out that I personally applied for and I recommend doing if you have been impacted, and whether you own a rental or you're just impacted as a small business owner, you can apply for the EIDL program, which is through the SBA site, and you can also apply for the PPP program, which is typically done through your lender. And both programs can potentially be a grant that does not have to be paid back.
Right. Shelby, for folks who are either looking to purchase a vacation rental, rent a vacation rental, or just other investors like yourself who are looking for someone to talk to, what's the website? What's the best way for people to reach out to you?
Well, I'm at greatstaugustinehomes.com. I recommend sending me either an email at remaxshelby@gmail.com or giving me a call or text at 904-687-6262. Whether you're looking to purchase something or you just need some advice on how to work with these programs, I would love for you to reach out. I would love to help.
That's excellent. Certainly appreciate Shelby being with us and sharing her expertise. The single most important thing is if you have this challenge as a landlord, especially in the vacation rental world, communicate with your lender, communicate with Shelby or someone else with great expertise. Sitting and ignoring the problem won't make it better. And working with a lender, working together, we're all going to get through this. You have a beautiful day.